Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm Nalta, and this is going to be my first Starcraft 2 commentary. This is my first commentary. In general, I've been a huge fan of the original Starcraft. I've been playing it a lot recently in preparation, and I've been with it for a couple of years now. Not the best, but I know enough that I think I can do a decent commentary. New overlords are fun. Anyway, I managed to find some replays in the Starcraft 2 beta, and I recorded this in Fraps, which is why you have that annoying number thing up. And I'm going to apologize off the bat, because about 2/3 of the way in, probably in part 2 of whatever you're watching, it kind of freaks out a little bit, and I'm sorry for that. I have to work on it. Anyway, it's KHB, wow, KHB versus Organized. KHB is blue and Organized is red. I believe KHB is pro. I don't think... KHB is a pro, that's where I found this. Organized, I really don't know anything about. Probably also pro, and I'm probably going to get messages or something telling me I'm an idiot. I totally understand. Anyway, you see first supply depot going in. Remember that in StarCraft 2 they can lower into the ground, although I actually haven't seen anyone use that. And we have blue coming in as a scout, and I'm going to refer to them as red and blue. You can figure out who they actually are by the little anything else. I mean, you're smart. Anyway, I'm gonna mention a little bit here while this Overlord is scouting and seeing this barracks that in the StarCraft 2 beta at least, the replay program whole section is much better than the original game. As you see in the corner, there's the progress bar that can now be paused and back and forward like it could before, but it looks nicer. But mostly below that you can see, like I just did, a switch between who's actually watching, and there's a button there in which you can actually see the camera angle. The camera angle as the person playing it saw it. Now, as you see, there's a second hatchery coming up, and I'm gonna go back because the graphics for the hatchery look pretty awesome. And as you see, there's a barracks coming up. The barracks looks done. The SVV is going to scout around. You see this hatchery coming up, and it's so... I'm gonna use the word beautiful because that's honestly what it is. You're probably going to notice the graphics look a lot like they could have been in World of Warcraft. That's because they could have been. I mean, it's Blizzard. They're going to keep the same team. And actually, the StarCraft 2 team got pulled away for an entire year at one point to work on World of Warcraft, so I'm really not surprised that some of the graphic styles look similar now. I'm going to come back to it in a little bit, but when I go back to the hatchery right here, you can see that orange and white line. Now, with the hatcheries, you can set two different... what's the word? Rally points, that's what I'm looking for. The orange one is for drones, and the white one is for other units. Now, you can see the drones one is going straight to a patch of minerals. You can actually set it that way, so when the drone is spawned, he goes straight to mining, so there's much less micro in your macro. That's a weird phrase. Anyway, you see the spawning pool come up, we're going to see a bunch of Zerglings coming in a second, and Fraps looks like it might be acting up a little bit here, but that works. We see 16 drones compared to 17 SCVs. This is going to be a rare instance. We can also see the productivity. More drones are being made. I think only one SCV is being made, but 2 queens are being made, which you'll see in a second. Also here, you get to see a add-on coming in, and the SCV is under attack. There goes the scout. Anyway, back. You see some Zerglings going through. I'm not sure why I'm narrating so much. And the APM, well, actions per minute. I'm sorry, I'm kind of freaking out. I don't remember shooting this. Anyway, you see the Queen, which is a very important new unit for the Zerg, which allows them to spawn more, why do I forget words like that? I should not be a commentator. Why am I doing this? Anyway,
add-on complete.
You get to see the new add-ons now. The first one, the leftmost right there, is the, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting names. Anyway, it allows you to build 2 units per building, which allows pretty much 1 barracks to have the same productivity as 2. And then the tech lab in the background is pretty much the same as the tech lab worked before, but it's more universal. And now, whatever building you put a tech lab on gets the ability to produce better units and have better upgrades. Yeah, it's a reactor. That's what we are. That's what that is. And you can see that it is 8 slots there instead of the 5 it would normally have, and you can actually queue up 2 units at once. You see those supply depots, they can be lowered into the ground, but I believe Organized here is going to keep them up as a little gate. He's going to keep these Marines. And you get to see a little camera switch there. They added in a little... they added in a lot of camera angles and a lot of camera angle abilities that really help in, what I did here with recording, which would help with playing. And it gives you something nice to drool over. Something a lot nice to drool over. Now, you get to see over here some more SCVs mining, and Overlord sitting there in the back. You have to believe, though, and I'm not bringing up the unit counter right now, I think I will in a second. I don't exactly know what you're supposed to get from that APM, although you can see it doesn't really affect the game that much, although it's kind of obvious that Blue should be doing a little more. Anyway, we get to see units, and we're going to see that there are a lot more drones than SCVs now, and that's going to stay constant for about the rest of the game. A lot more resources are coming into Blue than to Red, and that's really going to help in the late game, which you'll see eventually. I'm not going to give anything away. Now we get to see a baling nest here, and that looks pretty. Look at that. I'm going to take a screenshot right here. That might be why the camera sits here for a little... Yeah, right here, take a screenshot. Anyway, you get to see the balings, and pretty much it's a new ability for the Zerglings. I highlighted over there. They get to turn into those green cocoons, and they run out, and then they can explode on organic units like that, which lets them fry everything they touch, and it does massive damage to these Marines and Marauders. The Marauders you see there are the new Marine... It's like a half Goliath replacement thing, because I don't think there are any more Goliaths in StarCraft 2 or Vultures, but they are replaced very well by Aliens and these Marauders. Now, one sec, I'm gonna bring the volume down. Anyway, these Marauders are pretty much like super duper Marines. They've got the guns and they've got the health to stand up, but of course too many Zerglings bailing there to take him out. And there's still a much larger force, and you can see that you can select many more units in StarCraft 2 than 1. And actually I'm going to discover halfway through this game that you can actually select more than the 24 units I originally thought you could. Yeah, you actually get pages and pages, and I think it's actually limitless to how many units you can select. So anyway, we see this not orbital command center, you see the observatory, no, I'm getting the words all confused. You get more bailings being made, and you get to see these Marines, who I really haven't decided if they saw those Zerglings, but they are smart enough to regroup back at their base to take on the fight. We're going to see here a bunch more bailings being made to take out the Marines. It's going to good strategy here. More Marines being made, and oh, here we go. There's the Mule. Now this is an experimental SCV type thing, that yellow one over there. The purpose of it is about 90 seconds of having about 3 SCVs per unit per mule. So although they don't last too long, they can get something about 50 minerals, I believe, every time they go to harvest them. Okay, so we're about to see these bailings come out, and we're about to see a nice little fight between these Marines and those bailings. The mule there, I'm going to go up and actually watch him for a little bit here. You can see the little timers ticking down on him. He doesn't have that much long, and you might also notice when I mouse over units that you can see health bars. Now this is interesting. In StarCraft 2, when you burrow, units like that stick their heads out, and now I'm looking to what Red Organized sees, and he doesn't see any burrowed units at all, because of course they're cloaked. And it's really kind of funny here. He sets his rally point on top of those units, and you're going to see a huge pile just get attacked by these bailings hiding underground. And it does devastating damage to those Marines, but you see he's smart enough to keep a Zergling underground as a little scout here, and that's going to sit here for what I believe is too long. He's got some more bailings off to see if he's preparing for an attack. More scouts is too.